This is the Padua Podcast Network.
Running a Fever, episode 288.
Shattering the yo-yo.
Aches and pains. Previously on Running a Fever.
And I start to it with some meditation on a reading from the book Jesus Calling, as I usually do. And there really are no cheat meals in my diet. Absolutely nothing is completely excluded from my diet as a rule. So although my weight has actually taken me below the maximum BMI for my company, the blood pressure, I'm still lower on the blood pressure. So I think the next step is to start getting the sodium out of my diet. I'm already reducing my caffeine. You know, I used to drink a full cup of coffee or two at work. I can go down to one with no problem. So I get down to one, and then I've been sort of reducing that down to, I use a 16-ounce cup. So, you know, I got down to about 12 ounces, and then I got down to about 8, and then I filled the rest up with decaf. So now I've got half calf, right? 16 ounces, 8 ounces of calf, 8 ounces of half of decaf. So that makes it a little easier, because the act of drinking the coffee is the same. Talking to the doctor, who said, you know, he brought up the old doctor joke, it hurts when I do this, so don't do that. Basically, my shoulder, you know, if I'm doing an exercise that, you know, it hurts, then I need to back off from that. I'll do a quick warm up before I even start walking, because it's kind of cold. I just got up. So slowing down at work too. I'm not, for the last couple of days or so, I was doing 4 laps every hour, which is 880 steps. So I would be at, you know, 6,000 or 7,000 steps before I even left work. I'm not going to do that. I need to scale back a little bit. So I was definitely walking a lot more at work than I was out here, and I was doing it on the off days. So I want to stop doing that and just still get up and walk, but not be like pushing a step count or anything. Do a lap or two, maybe 2 of my workout days and 1 of the non-workout days.
I had my biometric screening recently for 2021. And this is when the company, quote, incentivizes me to come in and get weighed and swabbed and stuck and measured. Like anything, you can look at it as punishment or reward. Just doing the screening gets me $10 per payday. Testing, or $10 a month. Testing tobacco-free gets me some more and more for a low enough blood pressure and BMI. I still do have a blood pressure issue in addition to my high BMI. Regular exercise helps lower blood pressure, so I'm starting to do some of that. I need to do more, and reducing stress should help with that also. But I think the biggest deal is probably the extra weight I'm carrying. Now, my diet could be considered high sodium, which continues to show up as something that could be increasing my blood pressure. I remember the dietitian at the VA telling me I didn't need to worry about salt, but it probably does have some relevance here. I definitely have not cut my salt at all. My caffeine intake has also gone up since I recorded episode 53. I generally drink regular coffee all morning, and of course I have been drinking 2 12-packs of regular soda on my so-called cheat days each week. Cutting those out would also dramatically reduce my caloric intake. I find that at work these days I will sit for sometimes a couple of hours without even standing up, and I wind up groaning like an old man when I finally do get up. Last week, I wore my fitness watch, and that really helps because it reminds me every hour to get up and move around, at least get up and stretch, if not walk. Update, October 23, 2021. I went to a dentist this week for the first time in several years, and it was far from routine. Quite interesting, actually. I say a dentist because it's a new dentist. My old one retired, and then COVID hit, and I'm just finally getting around to going back. I think there are some technological changes since the last time I went to a dentist. This was a comprehensive exam. It was going to be a cleaning as well, but I'll explain why that didn't happen. So my hygienist, Cindy, took 18 x-ray images. She did it with a small handheld device she called her Marvin the Martian, after the diminutive cartoon character who always carries a ray gun almost as big as he is. The images are sent wirelessly to the computer and displayed not only on the desktop but on a monitor mounted above my chair, so I could see them as well. Later, Cindy and an assistant documented all of my previous dental work and measured my gums. All this went into my record in the computer, and I left with a printout that was detailed and color-coded even. Later, I was told about some things that could affect my dental health besides just brushing and flossing. For example, sipping coffee all day keeps my mouth acidic all day, increasing decay. I should just drink it, then stop. It takes 30 minutes for my mouth to return to balance from this acidity. I apparently suffer from dry mouth, which can also cause cavities. And an electric toothbrush with a rotating head is actually better than a regular toothbrush and less damaging to gums. They even gave me a book titled Why Me?, which explains factors that can negatively affect the dental health of even the most diligent brushers and flossers. I need quite a bit of work, and I'll start with a deep cleaning, which is much more invasive than a regular cleaning. Most people get a topical anesthetic for this procedure. Then I will have a lot of work throughout 2022, including crowns and fillings and other stuff. In other news, my weight is still about the same as when I started keeping track of it. My diet is still fine, except when it's not. I'm getting pretty good sleep, and I exercise most days as well. Trudgery. This will probably be the last episode I publish in 2021. I'm looking forward to a new year, hoping for health for everyone, and hoping for as close to a virus-free world as we can get, and a year in which I finally shatter the yo-yo. 2021 seems to me like a lost year in some ways, but a year of realizing the need to be adaptable and flexible. Don't always expect things to return to the way they were before something happened to disrupt them. Enjoy your New Year's celebrations, and I'll talk to you next year.